Am I the asshole for not telling my wife my kids didn't want her to adopt them? My late wife died 6 years ago when our kids were 3, 5, and 6. I remarried 18 months ago, and my wife has known my kids for about 3 years now. She had brought up adoption to me about 2 weeks before we got married. She told me she would love to ask the kids their feelings after the wedding and maybe start the process when we legally could, which is 6 months into our marriage. What I never told her is my kids had already expressed to me that they were worried about being adopted and didn't like the idea. This was prior to me getting engaged. My oldest had the strongest concerns because he remembers his mom the most, but none of the kids liked the idea that they would no longer have their mom's name on their birth certificates and other documents. I reassured them it would never happen as long as they were against it. I know my late wife would have wanted them to be loved, but would have also hoped for an adoption not to take place. She herself struggled with her father being erased by the time she was 2. He died before she was born, and when her mother chose to remarry, they chose to act like she was her stepfather's biological child. She only learned the truth as an adult, and I know it terrified her while she was sick that she would be replaced, especially when our youngest baby was too young to remember anything about her. I ended up telling my wife no, and we discussed it for a while actually. She was upset but didn't push it. A few weeks ago, her parents asked us about her adopting the kids. They said we all appeared to get along really well and how sweet of a gift it would be to her and the kids. I said it wasn't something we were going to do. Her parents ended up asking the kids afterwards, and my youngest was the one who said they didn't want to be adopted, and I knew, which then got back to my wife. She was pissed I never told her. She said she was never given the chance to see if we can figure out a way to do it that would make them all happy. I said I didn't see any reason to talk them around. They are allowed to feel that way. Her thinking we can convince them is part of the reason I never told her. I never wanted it to be something that needed fixing because there's nothing wrong with the way they feel. I also figured it would hurt less. That coming from me, at least we could have an adult conversation about it, but she could feel the kids were rejecting her. Her family says I should have told her and we should have worked out on a solution with the kids together. I said no solution was needed. Am I the asshole?